So we're going to continue on with, this would be part 5. So this, if you didn't see that, this is the police breakdown of what happened. So let's go through this. If you like bedtime stories, this is pure fantasy. The Rhode Island State Police report provides the children's description of their father's murder of their mother in July. The names of the juveniles are redacted. It's Cody and Abby. The juveniles stated that they were not injured due to the fact that the suspect's whereabouts were still unknown and the area was densely covered in woods. Okay, so the juveniles stated they were not injured due to the fact that the suspect's whereabouts were unknown. So the kids weren't injured because they didn't know where the dad was. Supposedly, they were standing like within 10 feet, but we'll read on. This is like written by an 8th grader. I placed the juveniles in my marked state police cruiser number 30. Well, of course it's number 30. That's 3 for mother because the 0 has no value. And relocated them to 263 North Road, where Hopkinton rescue was staged. What do you mean rescue? Why are you using the word rescue? If somebody's already been murdered, what's the rescue part? At this time I spoke with, that would be Cody Francis, the oldest of the 3 children. Cody stated that both he and his sister were having a sleepover for the evening with their neighbor and friend. Well, first of all, he wasn't having a sleepover with anybody. That was always the little girl, Abby. Cody, let's see, that's the name of the friend. When Cody observed his father Joseph arrive at the residence, Cody stated that his mother, identified as Stephanie Francis, date of birth redacted. Why would they redact her birth? It's 3/26/80. Why would you redact her birth? Of 171 Stubtown Road, Rhode Island, and his father had a no contact order, and he recognized that his father should not have been at the residence. Okay, stop. First of all, Stephanie violated that no contact order on multiple occasions. He was staying down in the guest room, and those kids would have been elated that he was there, because that's why Stephanie broke it, because the kids kept wanting him to come over and stay overnight. This is all made up. Then explained that his father entered the residence wielding a shotgun, responded to the second floor where Stephanie was located, and fired 1 shot, striking her center mass, which means straight in the chest. Cody then stated he observed his father leave the residence while Cody responded to Stephanie's location. He responded to Stephanie's location in an attempt to revive my mom? He responded to Stephanie's location? Well, that would only been like 10 feet away. Remember, what do you mean responded? To revive his mom. This is pure gold. So, you're going to revive your mom who's 4 feet 11 inches tall, about 120 pounds maybe, and she just got shot in the chest with a 12 gauge, but you're going to revive her. What are you going to do? Give her CPR? Unfortunately, there's not going to be a chest there to revive. A further interview by the Rhode Island State Police of the son stated that his mother and father are currently in the middle of a divorce proceeding, and that his mother had no contact order against the father. She didn't have it. She didn't press it. The state pressed it. She never pressed a no contact order. Okay? Obviously, she wasn't in fear of this guy because she kept letting him come over and stay overnight and spend time with the kids. He had no record of being violent. And in the year and a half that I knew her, she never once brought up that Joe had ever done anything violent to her, and that she thought he was a good father. Stated that an argument, Cody stated an argument escalated, and his father pinned his mother against the wall before taking a shotgun and shooting his mother in the chest in the hallway. Really? So an argument ensued. So a 4'11" tall woman got in an argument with a 5'8" tall man who's got a 12 gauge. I know guys that are 250 pounds that wouldn't argue with a man with a shotgun. So that's a lie. Stated his father left, but he didn't know whether he went into the basement or exited the house. Joseph went on the run. Police chased. Hours later, he crashed, the report said. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Hang on. So let's continue. Joseph went on the run. The police chased hours later. He crashed. Accident number blah, blah, blah. He was traveling at a high rate of speed north on Teft Road in the town of Richmond. First of all, there was an 11-hour gap, which I showed you in the very first disc, where the townspeople are going, this guy was driving around for 11 hours with a shotgun after murdering a woman, and you didn't tell the public? Doesn't that sound a bit suspect? And then they said, oh, well, we lost him on a dirt road, and it's not our policy to chase people real fast down a dirt road. Okay, well, if that's your policy, why didn't you open up Google Maps and say, here's the dirt road, here's where it comes out? And you post a trooper down there, and you post a trooper at the other end. And that way, if he tries to get out, he won't be able to. But see, they didn't think of that, see? All right, so this is the next morning. He was being pursued by several police departments. Vehicle 1 failed to stop and traveled onto Dawley Parkway from Teft Road. Vehicle 1 traveled through the intersection onto North Newsneck Road at a point approximately 100 feet north of Teft Road. He began to travel west, crossing both northbound lanes of travel and striking the center median. Vehicle 1 then continued west, crossing both lanes of travel and exited on the road into the wood line. Vehicle 1 then rolled over several times down the embankment while striking several trees, which I have a guy on here who went out there and looked, and there were no marks on any trees. Came to rest on its roof, approximately 50 feet from the roadway facing east. Well, of course, you have to face Mecca. That's where Mother is. The state police SWAT team approached the vehicle, pronouncing him dead at 1:25 p.m. Members of the forensic unit, Detective Carr and Gauman, arrived to process the scene. The medical examiner then arrived. Exeter Auto arrived on the scene and towed the vehicle to the state police headquarters. Nothing further to be done was the final line in the Rhode Island State Police report. Okay, so let's get this straight. Let's make sure we got this straight. You see where it says transcript from June 5th? Right here? How's that possible? Because he crashed on the 6th. He crashed on the 6th. So how could they read reports from the court transcript on June 5th? But how is that possible? Because according to, let me find it. I'll come back to that later. I've got to find the right part. So when he crashed, and this was on their local WJAR or whatever it is, and I was watching the video and I stopped it. And right there's the big black Saturnian X, and there's the pentagram. So I guess when you crash now, demonic symbols just pop up? In this realm are the fallen. Who are the fallen? Well, that's the fallen angels and the Nephilim, also known as Og. Remember when we talked about Og? And that Joseph and Stephanie had fictitious names? Well, his was Hisiog, and hers was Stiog Abu Frabkis. X expresses support. This is part of the Golden Dawn, which is a return to the Golden Age of Saturn, which is basically these guys get to run amok and do whatever the fuck they want. But, just the fact that these symbols showed up at an accident, I find that interesting because the whole thing reeks of some ritual bullshit. It does. The whole thing reeks of a ritual bullshit on a very high level. So let's come back over here to this. Here's Amy Laska. Big part of this whole thing. Because this is all centered around her and her other identity or her buddy or whatever that is, Aaron Austerlitz. The llama represents child sacrifice. That's why she's kissing it. She doesn't have a llama farm. She has nothing to do with it. In a year and a half, Stephanie never said anything about this brought him anything to do with llamas. It's because it represents child trafficking and sacrifice. And here's a picture of a kid off of her Facebook page. Doesn't this look like a wonderfully demented young girl? This is a kid that's been touched. We'll just use that word. And that's on Amy's Facebook page. That looks, is that the kind of kid you want playing around with your kids? No, this reeks. So let us continue. And this is another picture off of her Facebook page. Does that look normal to you? What does that look like? Why would, I mean, look, why would anybody have that picture on their Facebook page? Hang on. And so we look at this, yeah? It says, I'll bring a, remember this I showed you? First of all, why would you use this font for a memorial? If we change that to red, that would look like something from a slasher movie. Okay? This broad right here, and let's just make sure that we understand what we're looking at here. I find this really interesting. Her name is Melissa Silva Tinman. Silva was Stephanie's maiden name. And she's talking to this Amy Laska, the next door neighbor, who's definitely behind all of this. But let's look here. It's mirrored. That means she's already been sodomized, right? And here's the pedophilia color that we keep seeing over and over. There it is right there. And so those two were talking, and she says, I'll bring, because they were getting stuff for the memorial, I'll bring a gift card for my store and bring it with me next weekend. And I said, that's me. I'd like to donate Aaron Arnold's name and the pedophile ring up there that's going on that led to Stephanie's murder. And then, hang on. And if you look, immediately, and I'm telling you, it wasn't any more than 5 seconds. The post has been removed. The post or object that you were commenting has been removed by its owner and can no longer be commented on. So they didn't block me. They didn't say, buddy, who the fuck are you? They pulled their post. This was Amy's. Amy pulled her. See her name up there? And here's this Silva Tinman bitch. Now, why would you pull the post? If somebody was accusing you of something you weren't guilty of, would you pull your post, or would you just block them, or would you report them? The fact that they did that was verification that everything I was saying was true. And then we already know that a day later, the FBI and the State Patrol were at my house towing my car away in the middle of the night because I was headed up there on the 5th to go to her memorial. But I was bringing all this information that I'm showing you. So the townspeople probably wouldn't have been happy that they donated $40,000 and got it to a bullshit story. Well, make no mistake, something happened. Even if her and Joe packed their shit and left in the middle of the night, and this whole thing was all made up, which I think a big portion of it is. Something happened. But I don't think people would like being played for fools. Remember, usually when there's a murder, the news is all over it, especially this is a small town. There's no pictures of the house. There's no pictures of the yellow tape around the house. There's no picture of any squad cars, no policemen, no ambulances, no gurneys. There's no interviews with the neighbors. There's no pictures from a helicopter or a drone. There's no photographs. There's absolutely no pictures, and there's no video of Joe traveling at 120 miles an hour through Rhode Island on a Sunday at 11 o'clock in the morning from a cell phone or any other business that has a camera. You have me accusing these guys of a child pedophile ring, and as soon as I say it to these two, which I know at least the one, they pull their post, and then the next day the FBI and the state police is at my house taking my car. I think that pretty much states what's going on up there. I just find it interesting that there's another Silva in here, which was Stephanie's name. And I think if you look far enough back, and another guy was doing some investigative work on the side for me, he found that there were marriages between these two families. This is a network. Oh, wait, you guys haven't even seen the new shit. I haven't even got to that. That this originated since the last video that you watched, but we'll get to that. I'm just going over, just reaffirming if anybody's new watching this. Now, you're going to have to come to an understanding about this mother thing and how this thing with the brain works that I'm trying to tell you. Here's a picture of mother. That's mater. That's the French word for mother. Very attractive, isn't she? Great. There she is over here. Now, for somebody to sit down, and paint this mirrored, because we draw the line right here. Here's the cube. And we see we got the finger up because we know where that comes from. And this dude looks like a cross between a chick and a dude, right? I've been trying to tell you that's what this is. When you see this right here, you think that's two eyes. Well, it's this cube thing. This is in the UN prayer room. See, they're all like bowing to it. See it? Okay. So hang on here. Well, hang on, and we'll come back to this. So you see how they're all bowing to it. You gotta ask yourself, why would a dude why would a dude paint this and make this picture? Well, it's because of what I'm trying to tell you. These look like eyes here, but they're really not. It's that character that I showed you before. But let's just get this mother thing straight. Okay, so we got that. Then here you go. You like the way that kid's hand looks? See, that's the mother, that's the dragon. See, that's the dragon claw. And there's mother there, see the hand? And here's the kid from Sandy Hook, who, by the way, obviously he didn't get murdered, but you see his eyes are cubes, one side's light, the other side's dark, meaning that he's both, male and female. See the split fingers? And then we're going to come over here to this. Here it is over here. There's the split fingers. That's the dragon's head. Here it is over here. Here's the picture of mother in a movie. Gotta love those hands. Oh yes, very nice, very attractive. Bet it's hard for her to find gloves. That was a movie called Beau is Afraid, and that was a picture. It was like a split second when his mom was holding him. And you know, she's got the red hair for, you know, Lilith, and yeah, so you're gonna have to come to grips with, you know, this is a real like thing. It isn't like a made up thing that I made up. I'm just showing you how it works. So you have to understand that the whole world, this whole demonic system, is based off of this character right here. And everything that was going on with Stephanie and that whole thing up there is based around this. And that these characters right here, are the ones that worship Mother. They're the ones that have deceived you by telling you that it's a man, because it's not. Matter of fact, let me just pull something up here real quick. So you see this hand here, right? Let me show you something from a dating website. Hang on. It'll solidify this for you. And so let's look here. This is off of a dating website. Let's take a look. What is her name? Yael. Who's Yah? Well, that's the shortened version of Yahweh. El is the Canaanite god Saturn. 40 is the biblical number of the years that the Jews wandered around in the desert, because they were the original wanderers, also known as the Romans, because they were roaming around. They're not Italian, they're Romans. And look at look, this is her headline for her dating thing. You ready? A little known fact about me. Master of the Claw. Do you think there's a connection between this and this word here? Right? that word there, do you think there's a connection between this and this and this? Master of the Claw, and it's a female. And mother's very jealous, and mother loves murder and mayhem and sodomizing children. It's very interesting stuff, isn't it? See, if you just look, you'll see this all over the place. This character, that's why it's Yael. Basically, what's being stated there is that she is God. She's Master of the Claw. If people only understood what I was trying to tell them. Basically, this is the devil, for lack of a better word. So here, this is from the show Futurama. And if you see, this is in the character, this is called Mother. And you notice her head looks like a butt. Well, it's supposed to. And you see her hand. See that? And she's in control of all the robots on the show. The robots are the children that have been sodomized. They are now become slaves and part of that system. I just want to show you this. So here's a tribute to 9/11 here. See it? See the tribute? And these are the two sides of the brain, and this is the dick that goes in and blows them up, right? From the act. But hang on. Just so we know that there's two sides to this. So if we look, here's the tribute to 9/11. We know that that's a dick. These are the two sides of the brain, right? Here's the male side. Here's a dragon's claw. This was made from iron from the Twin Towers. So you've got the male and the female. They're both there, see? But they're combined now. So when we look at this picture of this woman, right here, there's the dick, there's the dragon's claw. This is the female, this is the male. The two of them are combined. She's taking a picture in front of a mirror in an elevator. So she's both. Does that hand look normal to you? Does that look normal to you? No. Because this is mommy. And this is Dada. But they're the same character. Satan is one half, the devil is the other half. All of this is all tied into what happened with Stephanie, because it's all part of their weirdness and craziness. I'm just trying to get you acclimated to what's really going on this planet. Or you can go back to YouTube and you can go watch cat videos and all of these other bullshit theories of things. I'm showing you exactly what's going on. That's why the FBI showed up at my house with the state police and took my car so I couldn't go up there and explain this to those people there that what they thought was going on wasn't. So, if we look here, this is from the movie The Shining. See the shirt that he's wearing? Or the sweater? See the Mickey Mouse? Remember old Aaron Austerlitz? Remember I showed you here? See the mirror right here? More ideas from Aaron Arnold, which is Aaron Austerlitz, which is Amy Laska. And then we just looked here. And if you squint your eyes, you can see the mouse head. There's the face, and there's the ears. See it? That's why it's on this. Because in the book, this boy was sodomized by his father, and his mind fused, and he was able to see all the evil, real evil things, because now he was part of the system. And just to make sure that we understand what I just said, in the book, the dad was sodomizing the kid. The movie's The Shining, reflections and distortions of reality. Here's the pedo color. I'm just showing you that so that you can see it. The computer doesn't lie. It's coded a specific way, so it can't change any of the code. So once you learn this code, you know it. And the fact that Aaron Arnold, Aaron Austerlitz, Amy Laska have this picture on their Pinterest tells me that she is 100% connected with child trafficking and child mind control. And therefore, now getting back to Stephanie, I'm still trying to figure this out. If they came for her kids, if she's part of it, if she's one of them. Because the police story makes absolutely no sense. This stuff does. This stuff does. I'm not saying Stephanie was part of this not knowingly, but I'm just, you know, I know this stuff really, really well. I mean, probably better than anybody you're ever going to meet in your life. Nobody on YouTube's going to explain this to you. It just ain't going to happen. Okay? So we have this here. So here, I'm going to show you how that flips worlds. Hang on. So here's from The Shining. Here's the normal family. And then here's the upside down backwards family. Okay, murder. See the finger? It's because the kid got sodomized. These are two different worlds. See it? That's why the kid's sitting there with his finger up. So then let's go back a little bit. Here's a picture of a llama. See the color code for pedophilia? Here's Amy Laska with her llama, or a llama. You see? So let's even go back further and understand once you do this to a kid, what happens. Here they are showing you the same thing with the planet Saturn. The black and the white. They turned it on its side so you can see the two concentric circles, which are the two sides of the brain. See it? Merging as one. This picture here is an old statue carving of what mother is. You see it has a woman's face. You see these are gears. These are gears. And so if you were trying to explain to people that this thing that runs this place has a female element to it, but it's machine. She would have been, she's like Darth Vader, who was shaped like a dick. It should have been a woman in that suit instead of a guy, but anyway, that's her there. And I'll show you a picture from The Simpsons where they verify that. This right here, see the finger? This, I know this stuff looks like people like, well, what is it? It's not. It's not hard. It's not hard to understand. These are diametrically opposed sides. The unicorn and the lion. Okay, the fool and the I can't remember what that character's name is. The male and the female. She's pointing down, he's pointing up. The two of them, here's the eclipse, the sun and the moon, right? The two of them become one. But notice the creature that they're tied into. The dragon, which is mother, over here. The system that they get locked into, that they can never escape from. Jesus, this stuff is fucked. So just to clarify, when you see these memorials of 9/11, the dragon's claw and that dick that's supposed to be a fireman, basically what they're showing you is that the world has moved from being separate, it's moving towards a singularity, which means that two sides are coming together to make the third eye. When the Jews talk about the third temple, that's what they're talking about, the one in your head. But they're creating it on Earth. So they're going to shove all the people from all the world into one system. The same thing that happens to a child's brain when they get sodomized. The two sides fuse together. The two sides fusing together is an electrical arc. That's what the ark is in the Bible. It is not some boat with a bunch of animals on it. What an idiotic fucking stupid story that is. When the two twin towers fell down, what do? They put up a single building. It represents the finale of the two sides fusing. Hang on a second. So to give you a better idea, this is a building structure in Korea. People threw a fit about it, saying, oh, it's 9/11. No, it's not, you dummy. 9/11 is the act of sodomy. 9 is the gateway. 9 is the act. Okay? It's hell. It's what creates hell. The 11 is the doorway. They built these apartments to look like that because it's the merging of the left and right sides. See the female? See the male right here? See the lion, the male side? The unicorn, the female side? You see? So if I do this, And we just and I draw a line from here straight down, and then we come over here and we use this color for her. It comes straight down. This is the left side of the brain. This is the right side of the brain. Okay? Here's the unicorn, left side. Here's the line, the right side. Right? Here's the male over here with his finger. Here's the female over here with hers. And the two of them are joined at the hip. 9/11 was not done. It was a terrorist act by Israel, but it's because of their occultic bond to this mother character. And so when they did 9/11, they were letting all the people that are involved in this thing that the time had begun. You remember Y2K? Any of you remember that? You remember Y2K? Yeah, I'm kind of getting off track here, but I'm going to teach you what that is. So Y2K, all the computers were going to crash. No, they weren't. Not a single one of them fucking things ever crashed. Fucking idiots. We're gonna play the same game that we just played with these lines. Okay? So over here, we will do this. We'll come down to 20. So over here, we've got Y2K. Oh, and I said, all the computers were going to crash because the numbers were going to roll back. No, that's not what that is. It was this. Let me take this back. Yahweh to Kali. Kali is a Hindu goddess of death. She's just another representation of the planet Saturn. The death is the mental part where the mind fuses and you're done. That's it. There's no more anything. You're just in that system. That's what Y2K was. And so what was Y2K? That happened in the year 2000. What followed the very next year? 2001, 9/11. 9 represents hell, 11 is the doorway. And so it was symbolic of the world, like a brain, being fused together. So it was like a global sodomy. And so there's no turning this thing back. It's in force, and it's gonna run its course. Now, all of this stuff, even though we've gone off topic, is all tied into Stephanie. So let me just pull something up here real quick. So for years I've been screaming about the whole Saturn thing, and here's the holy grail of it. Saturn, the word Saturn consistently turns up as an important word for the Illuminati and the upper levels of the occult because Saturn is an important concept. It should be covered in this part of the book. Therapists may encounter something to do with Saturn in a programmed multiple, which are what? Alters. And the reason, how do they get programmed? You know how they get programmed, through the rumpy pumpy. And if you want to get illuminated, you got to get lit up. And once you're lit up, then you're Illuminati. It's just an old order of butt fuckers and pedophiles. That's what it is. So all of you that want all this mystic stuff around it, it's right here. This is a letter from a dude called Seraphim. If you know what the Seraphim are, in Hebrew it means the fiery ones, so you can figure that out. But this is a message that was sent to me some time ago. So again, from The Simpsons, here's Mother over here, and who's here? Well, here's Krusty the Clown. He's the Jewish clown. A clown in the occult is a guy that gets it up the ass. They call him ass clowns. And what is he doing? He's got the gears on the side of his head. And what is this particular part right here? You see the Masonic stairs. They like to use stairs and ladders, the Masons do. And what's going on in here? Oh, that's hell. See it? See, Matt Groening is a high-ranking Mason. They're not predicting anything. The Simpsons. They're just telling you what they're doing. There's no prediction. If I hide your shoes and I tell you where they're at, did I predict it? No, I'm the one that hid the fucking things. It's all there. They're not hiding anything from you. You just don't know what to look at or how to interpret it. And here's two more renditions of the same thing. Here's the woman with the gears. They just disguise it. They just rearrange it. It's the same thing. That's Mother. Here's the black cube that's in the UN prayer room with the woman's head on top of it. It's Mother. So when you see that black cube, you know it's Mommy Dearest. And the system, here. Mickey Mouse's head is comprised of 3 gears. Why those 3 gears? Because hell is a very slow-moving, grinding, painful system. That's what Mickey Mouse's head is. So they just keep on redefining and reconfiguring, but it's like taking your first, middle, and last initial and moving them around. You're still the same person. So just to show you, Mickey Mouse's head, like I was just showing you here, I'll just redraw it in. We'll use red. And that's Mickey Mouse's head. That was that kid, Adam, can't remember his name. He was murdered. And they had some weird looking guy that supposedly did it. No, they murdered him in a ritual. That guy from America's Most Wanted, the guy that Adam, whatever his name was. Yeah, he killed his kid. He was in on it. Oh, and I just wanted to show you this. Holocaust. Found on an island. What the fuck? Well, because you see what he's doing? He's screwing him in the ass. So when you see the numbers 22-2, and that's like occultic numbers, here's why. The Lord said, take him, thy only begotten son, whom you love. Yeah, I'll bet. And go to the land of vision, because that's what happens in their head when they get sodomized. Remember Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory? The boat ride? Yeah, that's what happens, because the kid's mind goes to hell. And there thou shalt offer him up as a what? Anybody? What should we offer him up as? A Holocaust. And that's what your Holocaust is. Not a bunch of Jews in a fenced-in area. It's an act of the demonic act of sodomy, period. Learning is fun. So now we're going to catch up to where I am today. So you see here it says Stephanie Francis overview. This phone number I don't recognize, but this is her email address. You see it? And she's got a couple more. But this is important. That's Stephanie Ann Silva. That's her birthday, 3/26/80 at Yahoo. And this is the address. So follow along. I'm going to take you down here where it says phone numbers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, these are all interesting phone numbers attached to her. Ontario, Canada, Denver, Ohio, California. I don't remember her telling me about these places. Sisterville, West Virginia. Well, that's real interesting. New Jersey, yeah, she was from there. Centerdale, Providence, Norfolk, Virginia. Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. Here's all of her emails. Here's old Aaron Arnold, Amy Laska, Aaron Austerlitz, the child trafficker. And then we come down here. Here's where she lived. This right here. See this right here? Remember this P.O. box. Okay? Now, we're going to scroll down here to related people. Those are people that are directly related to her, likely associates. And then it comes down here to possible associates. You see this woman here? K.M. O'Neill, Netherlands. 30 minutes from me. Okay? Now let's get into hers. Remember the P.O. box and the emails. So here's Kay, 71 years old. You remember the P.O. box, Stephanie's? P.O. Box 946, Netherland, Colorado? How does Stephanie and this woman have the same P.O. box? So who is this woman? On my page was a woman named Kay O'Neill. She had been following me for years. She was the first one to call me and tell me, or she said that the state police are going to call you. And I said, how do you know? And she said, because I talked to them. And I said, well, how did they know to get a hold of you? And she said, well, everybody here knows everybody. And I said, okay, but how did they know you knew me? Well, I was too out of it. I don't remember what she said, but it's nonsensical. Anyhow, so I asked her, supposedly she was in Rhode Island. I said, would you go by and look at Stephanie's house? And she said, she was not like, she didn't say no, but she didn't say yes. And then she stopped contacting me, and then she stopped responding at all to any kind of conversation, no emails, no messages on the page, and then she blocked me. And the reason she blocked me is because she wasn't in Rhode Island, she was here in Colorado. So let's just scroll down. Now we know that on Stephanie's page, Kay is an associate. Okay, they know each other. Okay, email addresses. Why does Kay, here's Kay's email addresses, yeah? Why is Kay's email address also Stephanie's address? Email. So now you've got a woman who has not only Stephanie's as a contact, but they share the same P.O. box and they're using the same emails. Do you know what this tells me? This tells me that P.O. box, the way they do this is 15 people, 20 people can have a key to that box. And so if you don't want somebody to be intercepted with a email or regular mail, you personally go down there with whatever message it is you have, and you put it inside the P.O. box. All the people with the key that need to get to that message will go to that box. Okay? This is telling me that this is a network, and a big one. Okay, a real big one. So, hang on. She owns a business where this P.O. box is. Let me just show that to you. Now, if you look up here, it says most popular. I find it interesting that she has so many hummingbirds and butterflies. These are monarchs and hummingbirds. I find that very interesting. You know what else I find interesting? The fact that she has an office in a strip mall, her business, but she gets mail in a P.O. box. This is a front. Hang on. So look here. Gray suit. Well, what's gray? It's a mixture of black and white. See the Masonic check? See the monarch butterflies? Covert operations known as gray suits. Sodomites. Enforce British government interest in the world's most dangerous places, especially considered to have heightened strength and senses. Yeah, they're mind controlled. Anytime they show a butterfly tattoo or over the mouth or anything to do with this, boom. Project Monarch. It's right here as well. That's them two nasty little bitches from the fucking Shining. Here it is on the wall here. Monarch. I know it's hard to read, it's blurry. But that's what it is. Mind control. See how they're mirrored? Split down the middle? You notice they're both female. So what's going on with that lady, Kay O'Neill, in that stained glass shop? That's a front. Why would you be using a P.O. box if you have a storefront in a mall? You can get mail there because it's a front. You know, I grew up in Illinois, and there on the way home on North Avenue and Gary Avenue in Wheaton, there was a Fannie Mae candy shop that was there even when I was in high school back in the 70s. It's still there, and you never see cars parked there. Maybe a few on Valentine's Day, but rarely anything. because those are front for government operations. And hers is too. I emailed her. I said I'm inquiring about Stephanie Francis. She emailed me back, which is interesting. She didn't email me to the address that I gave her. The email, she emailed me to my phone, which is interesting because I didn't use my phone. I used my desktop. 2 different emails. And she said, I don't know, Stephanie Francis. This is close encounter of the first kind in email exchange. Now I'm going to move on to close encounter of the second kind, which is a telephone call. And if I don't get satisfaction from that, we go to close encounter of the third kind, which is me showing up at the business until I do make contact with her. So I am making headway. So now we've established that there's people outside of this, and this is a real physical human being. And I'll be able to tell by the facial expressions, because there's no reason why that broad should be on Joe's report and Stephanie's, and those 2 shouldn't be on her report. That means they've all been associated, at least at one point. So to say she doesn't know Stephanie is bullshit. That's why she's got all the butterflies and all the hummingbirds. Because you got Operation Monarch and Operation Hummingbird. And they're all government controlled. Hence the FBI and the state police coming down and taking my vehicles so I couldn't go to the memorial and lay all of this out for the townspeople. And just another picture. Here's the eye. Here's the Mickey Mouse head. Here's the mirror. Here's the female. All of this stuff leads to something far, far different than what the police are saying. Matter of fact, it's the police that are covering it up. Trust me, I'll get to the bottom of this. This isn't the end of it. This is the end of part 5. I'll be working on part 6 over the weekend.